Hello, good evening, welcome to Upfront. My name is Raymond Alqua. Tonight, the latest update from that collision that resulted in the blast near Bogoso in the western region that we understand many are feared dead in relation with. That particular latest update is what we're starting today's show with. We'll be telling what the police has been saying, what the President of the Republic of Ghana has been saying, what the regional NADMO and the national NADMO has been saying, and what the regional minister. His latest update on this particular situation is what we're giving you on Upfront. Then later on, we'll settle into sports after this break. That collision that is still unraveling currently in the western region near Bogoso, the specific town that's been cited is Apiatse. This, we understand, is where the massive blast happened. This blast, according to the police, it happened because there was a collision between a vehicle carrying mining explosives and a motorcycle. The mining vehicle is said to have been moving from Takwa and heading towards Triano mines. We also understand, according to the police preliminary investigation, that this particular explosion, and much of the detail, because this started on social media, had been that many people are reporting of incidents and identifying people related to them. We understand many are also feared dead on the ground. The police statement refused to give a specific number of people that are dead. The situation on the ground is what I'll be giving you. First, let the National Disaster Management Organization tell us what is happening currently. We sure should be speaking to those on the ground, but let's get to the headquarters of the National Disaster Management Organization. Abu Ramadan is a Deputy National Coordinator, and he joins us on the phone now. Sir, you're welcome to Upfront.
Hello?
If you can hear me, Abu, you're welcome to Upfront.
Thank you for having me, Raymond. I can hear you.
So let's understand the report you've been getting. Exactly how serious is this incident? Do we know the number of people who are currently involved and the casualties that have been reported right now?
Raymond, good evening to your viewers and listeners. As currently, I can't give you a specific number because the situation is fluid. The regional, as I'm talking to you now, the regional director of NADMO, together with the regional minister and some other senior officials, are on their way to the community to go and assess for themselves to see for the first and what is happening on the ground. And from our reports on the ground so far, as the place is being cordoned off to prevent possible further explosions if there are any more explosives that have not gone off, and search and rescue also ongoing currently. So we can't give you a specific figure as of now. But I'm sure as the day goes by, I'm sure in the next 2-3 hours we could place our hands on and give you some numbers as to what the situation is.
What kind of deployment is being done on the ground? The police statement says that they are in charge of security. Do we know which other emergency units are already on the ground as we speak?
From my information, the fire service is there currently to support. My men, NADMO is also there. We are there to help with the search and rescue exercise. And from the head office itself, a team is being dispatched to go and give support to the men on the ground currently. And also we're putting together what sort of logistics must be put together immediately. But that would be dependent on the situation on the ground as the report comes from the region.
There are those that are saying that this has actually spread to other places and the area is very vast. Do we have what it takes to take charge of this situation and, if for nothing at all, get to know the severity of the problem?
I believe so. We have the capacity, and we should be able to cover ground as quickly as possible. And the area being vast, and one worrying situation is the public interference. And we are as much as possible appealing to Ghanaians who are traveling, who are using that stretch of the road or who live communities nearby, to as much as possible stay away from the scene. And also, if they find objects that they are foreign objects they don't know of, that they've just found around their houses, they shouldn't touch but contact the police or NADMO so that a team will be sent there to also have a look to make sure that all the explosives We don't have some that have not detonated already and are likely to cause harm to people further.
I'm convinced you say you have not gotten the fullest picture yet, but do you have an understanding of the casualties as we speak? Even an estimation of the numbers involved, not those who have finally given up the ghost, but we're talking about people in hospitals, people being rushed there. Do we understand the scope of the problem from that perspective too?
I wouldn't want to churn out numbers, and you know how this country is. When I give you a figure now, if we are not careful, that's the number people are going to run with till tomorrow. I want us to do it properly and give accurate numbers. Let us not put panic within the system. Yes, a whole community has been affected, that we can confirm. But I don't want to say 100 or 200 or 500 people have been affected for now. Let us give you official figures that match the situation on the ground. Let us just not speculate.
I understand that. Maybe the other question I'm asking you here is related to exactly what will we do in the next few days? Would it depend on your first team that will arrive on the ground? Would it depend on the regional director and the regional minister, who we understand is already there, who will be getting there in a matter of hours or a couple of minutes from now? Exactly what are we likely to deploy? National resources, marshalling from other regions? Do we need support from other regions to deal with this problem?
Currently, until the Western region calls for support from other regions, and the other regions are currently, as we're talking, being put on standby. The regions that are close by, the Western North region, the Bonga, Bono, and the Hafu areas, we are putting an Ashanti region, we are putting them on standby to be in readiness should the team in the Western region find it difficult to handle the situation. More deployment to be done. But as to the course of action between the next 2-3 days, what we'll do is dependent on the report that we're going to get from the team that is currently on their way to the location.
It might be early days yet, but do we also have any indication what it will require for us to get medical help to the people there? Do we know that the hospitals in nearby towns can take care of the numbers? Since you say at least we know this involves an entire community.
Raymond, I believe that is one of the first lines of actions the team has taken already in the region, because as part of our SOPs, that should have been activated already by the region, and I'm confident they've done that. As we have also activated our SOP from here at the head office to deploy team to go and give experts to go and give them support on the field there, and I'm sure together with our collaborators, the 48th Engineers Regiment of the Ghana Armed Forces would quickly move in there immediately to give support there. So let me not preempt to say that the whole place, this is an emergency. It just happened. It is not planned. It just happened. So I'm sure all the hospitals by now are on standby. The ambulance service too as well will coordinate and make sure that enough ambulances are brought there to give support so that we can pick the injured and those we find.
The visuals we're seeing shows that many citizens who are not emergency workers, who are actually not security officials, are also on the ground. How is this aiding or impeding the kind of rescue and immediate assessment that's required on the ground right now?
So that's why the police have assured. They said they are in charge of security, and and the police know that they would have to clear the place so that we can cordon off the place properly, so that the rescue men can move in and do their work. That for sure, I can assure you. The place will be cleared. The general public, as I said earlier, the general public should stay clear of that place, because the possibility of having some explosives that have flown out and have not detonated yet, there is a possibility of that. And for that matter, we would not encourage people just to go there and be hanging around or attempting to help in the rescue effort. The excavators and machines that are supposed to help with collapsed buildings and all of that are being moved to the site as I'm talking to you to help with the rescue operation. So we'll make sure that as much as possible the general public doesn't interfere. They can stand at a good distance and observe whatever is going on there.
This is, as you say, an emergency. By our national architecture, the coordination is supposed to be done by NADMO, if I got it right.
Precisely.
Brilliant. So which other agencies so far have you coordinated with? And when the police say, for example, that most of the victims have been rescued and admitted at various hospitals and clinics within the Bogoso municipality, Does that suggest to us that we cannot put a finger or we cannot estimate properly the number of people that might have been casualties as we speak?
Raymond, as I said, and I want to re-emphasize, the regional team is on its way there. Mm-hmm. The district team, as of now, in the midst of this, the chaos and the confusion, cannot tell you we've picked 4, we've picked 5 people that have been sent to the hospital immediately. But before the regional team arrived, the district would have some SWOT report for it or some data for it to work with. And that data can be close to accurate than the reports the data that they will be giving us from the field immediately in the state of that confusion. So let us give ourselves an hour and a half, maximum 2 hours. Okay. I can get you some good data as to which hospitals have we sent casualties been sent, what even the males and females, children that are involved. We can provide you with all that information if you give us a little more time.
There's already talk about the incident that led to this. The police gave us a brighter appreciation of it. According to the police, this happened between a motorbike and also a vehicle carrying explosives. And these explosives are, the vehicle itself was heading towards a mining operation. Is that standard practice? Do we know that that's what really happens on this stretch? We know there are mining concessions and official mining happening there, but is it standard practice to have such vehicles carrying explosives? And when there is an impact of such sort or a collision resulting in the kind of damage and the blast that we have seen on the ground?
From what I know, when explosives are being carried about, they are provided with escorts. Normally there are escorts that are provided for them to make sure that they are carried safely, and in some instances police escorts and even the courier agency that is dispatching the explosives provide their own security to ward off people and notify people of the fact that they are carrying explosives. So in this instance, because it is an explosion, it will be difficult. It will be difficult to know whether they had escorts or not, and whether they didn't have escorts, and for that matter, how come the explosives were being carried in that manner. We will find all of that out as a result of investigation in the next few days, and we will get to the bottom of that. Whether the mining agency that was transporting the explosive to its site, whether it followed the standard practices and procedures that are supposed to follow or not, and for that matter, we'll get to the bottom of it. We'll get to the bottom of it through investigations and going through what really transpired.
Appreciably so. It's early days yet. And you talked about evacuation. And I see the police statement also talking about emergency evacuation, which is currently happening. Do we know who is spearheading the activities on the ground, not security-wise, but with the emergency evacuation?
Currently, my municipal director, the municipal director for the district is there.
Okay.
He will be coordinating together with the police and fire service and other agencies, the ambulance service, the agencies that are there. And when the region comes, they will take over the coordination and make sure that it has that regional look, as we are also preparing to go and give them support on the ground.
Now, there's one more question about whether everything we need on the ground, we have it. You mentioned ambulance. You mentioned also the fire service and their fire trucks. Do we have enough ambulance to make sure that it helps us with emergency care immediately?
Raymond, thanks be to God, and we will say thank you to Mr. President for his vision of providing 275 ambulances to every constituency. So at least the regional pool, the regional ambulance service can draw from all the districts to come in and give support. And it can be done. So Western region can call all its ambulances in to come and give support in this instance. Central region can also do so, which is closer. Western North can also do so. So for provision of ambulance, I'm sure that shouldn't be a headache at this stage, because every district has an ambulance as we speak. And those ambulances are coordinated by the ambulance service, and they can recall them for this particular exercise. I don't think that should be a problem.
Abu, I would like to leave it here. I'm sure when the regional minister and your regional director arrives on the ground, we should pick this up and continue with the conversation. But for now, I'm very grateful for joining us with some update on what's happening there.
Thank you for having me.
So is that the blast that actually resulted in some difficulty in that town? Apiati is the name of the town. This is near Bogoso. and this particular incident also happened in the Western region, we understand that already there's a team on the ground, as the Deputy National Director General of the NADMO has been telling us. This understanding we have is also from the fact that they have gathered enough information and not everything is known. And of course, we have heard more from the police. And if reference is made, I can read portions of that police statement to you. It says here, reference to our earlier emergency public notice, the police have taken charge of the situation, providing security to enable the emergency workers, including the National Fire Service, NADMO, and the ambulance service, to manage the situation. The public has been advised to move out of the area to nearby towns for their safety. While recovery efforts are underway, an appeal is also being made to nearby towns to open up their classrooms, churches, etc., to accommodate surviving victims. And if you heard me asking, I was asking whether we have enough of the hospitals and the other places to actually take care of these. The police statement talks about churches and other classrooms opening up to accommodate surviving victims, because we understand this actually happened and it involves virtually an entire township. This is how serious the incident is. The police says, meanwhile, the preliminary investigations have established that a mining explosive vehicle, which was moving from Takwa to Chirano mines, collided with a motorcycle, resulting in the explosion. Most of the victims, we understand, have been rescued and are on admission at various hospitals and clinics within the Bogoso municipality. Take key notice of the fact that says most of the victims have been rescued and they are in various hospitals within the Bogoso municipality. Another important point that should be noted from what the police have said is that reinforcement of resources and personnel have been deployed to effectively handle the incident. We continue to urge the public to remain calm as we manage the situation. One thing to do with the public, though, is also what Abu Ramadan told us about how they are basically on the ground impeding the work of the security and also emergency workers, making it difficult for them to carry out their professional duties because the people in this area have also invaded the place one way or the other. Now, further updates regarding the emergency evacuation of the injured will be communicated. That is what the police statement has actually put out there. And I did mention early on, if you have checked, the Executive President of the Republic of Ghana has also put out a statement on this. I'll be giving you that and who else has been speaking on the matter as and when we get the latest updates on all of the happenings in that town, the town which has been thrown into some chaos because of the blast. Blast, police says, is coming from a collision between a mining vehicle carrying explosives. And that's one clarification we may require when we get along this conversation. As Abu explained, most of these mining vehicles carrying explosives, they have motorbikes or escort, official security escorts, because of how dangerous that particular, the dangerous things they are carrying in the truck of the cars. Unfortunately, it appears, or we do not know for a fact though, it is being suggested as we speak that escort might not have been on the ground, and this is why, or might have been the reason this, explosion or collision happened in the first place. More of that detail when we get them right here on Upfront.